Warning: the Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern, and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here to North Wilkesboro Speedway as it makes its debut on the schedule, Season 6 of the NNSCRA Duracell Cup Series. Getting ready for some short track racing here tonight, and as I said last week at the conclusion of our Phoenix race, if preseason testing is anything to go by, we are in for an exciting race here today. Really been looking forward to seeing what this short track's going to do in terms of shaking things up for the playoffs, maybe see our 6th different winner on the season, and a lot of storylines coming into this race as well. We've got the ongoing manufacturer battle, Ford picking up the first 3 wins on the season, but Chevrolet has now won the last 2. We've had 3 races in a row where a driver has picked up their first career victory, 2 of them being rookies, William Hoer at Las Vegas, and last week at Phoenix, Jack Dunnard. The meat and net sandwich, the veteran Joshua Osborne getting his first career win at Pocono 2 weeks ago. And not only that, but now Chris Dollerton had a decent enough run last week, so all 5 of our previous race winners from this season are up inside the top 25 in the points standings, which means that their victories right now count towards a playoff spot. And I know there's a long ways to go in the season. We're only just now getting close to halfway through the first half of the first half of the regular season, a quarter of the way through the regular season, but that means that 11 drivers right now would make it in via points, and I honestly feel that we're going to get close, if not exceed, 16 different winners here this season, so it is going to make getting to victory lane even more important the closer we get towards playoff portion of the season. So we'll see what happens here today. I have a feeling track position is going to be ultra important, and gaining the pole position here today is going to be Samuel Ryder. We talk about drivers trying to get their first win of the season, drivers trying to get multiple wins, but how about Samuel Ryder being the first multiple pole sitter of the season, his second pole of his career, and he'll be alongside of Ryan Butcher. Both of these drivers pretty similar in the point standings as far as their situation. Samuel Ryder currently sits 21st in points. Ryan Butcher is 24th in points. Ryder dropped 7 spots in the standings last week at Phoenix. Butcher gained 7 spots. Both drivers are looking for their first top 10 on the season, and they are surrounded by a number of drivers in the point stands that have already gotten their first top 10 of the season. Several of them also have gotten their first top 5. So these are 2 drivers mired right in the middle of the point stands that are looking to either tip the scales one way or the other here today. And as mentioned, they've got good starting track position for this one. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, it's time to go down trackside, those most famous words in motorsports, because I'm ready to see what these drivers are going to do here today for 100 laps. Let's go down and get that command.
Drivers, start your engines!
Pace car going to lead the field off the front straightaway. You'll see your starting lineup on the right side of your screen. Our graphics department gets a little bit of a break here in the fact that you will not see the previous race winners, since this is the first time that Duracell Cup Series drivers have taken to North Wilkesboro Raceway. Around this portion of the schedule, though, we were at a short track, and that would have been Bristol. So short track racing still, race number 6, but obviously much different length and configuration. Bristol a half mile in length, North Wilkesboro 0.625 miles in length. Well, are you ready for some short track racing? First time this season we get to see it outside of the clash that opened up the year at Bowman Gray. And Samuel Ryder's McDonald's Ford Mustang gonna get us under green. Dead even through 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. Ryan Butcher got a decent jump, but was not able to clear Samuel Ryder for the top position, trying to get that power down on corner exit. Not able to do so, and we will complete the first lap under green flag conditions. A lot of moving and shaking going on back there, changing of lines around the middle portion of the pack. See Ryan Butcher trying to get back to the throttle. I think he's clear. Ryan Butcher on the top side is going to take the lead going into turn 3. Samuel Ryder going to slot into second. Third place will now be under contest. Matt Haas on the top side of Nathan Ormond. Ormond looks like he might have gotten a better exit off of 2. Still has Matt Haas to his outside though. And now we'll clear off of turn 4. So top 3 gets single filed out. Anthony McCrory going to work on Kyle Matthews. That would be for the 5th position. And now McCrory will clear Matthews and get to the inside of Matt Haas. He'll look for P4. Anthony McCrory is definitely a driver that needs a good run here today. 41st in current points, as he got really loose there on the bottom of 3 and 4. Matt Haas and Kyle Matthews going to try and swing around his outside. Haas will clear. Matthews looking to do the same. A lot of big names still down there near the bottom of the point standings, 5 races into the schedule. The aforementioned McCrory, Benjamin Miles is dead last in points. Dylan Poteet's 40th in the standings. Saw Poteet back there. He's battling with Austin LaPlante. He was 17th last time by. Benjamin Miles right now back in the 36th position. That's where he started this race. 3 wide back there. That's Laura Chung, Noah Hendrickson. I think that was Dylan Young on the top side. Dylan Young dropped like a stone through the point standings last week after his dead last finish at Phoenix. Dylan is 30th in points coming into this race. Looking at Joshua Osborne. He was in a good battle with Nick Gunther. Gunther going to win out on that. Osborne dropping back to the 8th position, our winner from Pocono. Gunther up to 7th, just ran his fastest lap of the race. 8 laps in, of course, he spent most of the of this run up on the top side, so finally getting to the bottom, able to put down a decent lap. As Ryan Butcher continues to show the way. Remember, this 78 car, I know that obviously the next gen car has completely changed things up. They're no longer running the car that they ran the previous 5 seasons, but remember that Ryan Butcher last season, along with Alexander Rowe and Diego Yepes, they won the regular season championship. Ryan Butcher going to victory lane 1 time during the regular season, and Diego Yepes going to victory lane twice. So Ryan Butcher's no stranger to the postseason, as all of a sudden he's gotten reeled in by Samuel Ryder and Nathan Ormond. I thought it was going to be a battle for second, and they suddenly started gaining ground on the 3M Toyota Camry. So battle for the lead may be on here sooner rather than later. Let's drop back, see where our closest to the front battle is. That's where Noah Hendrickson is going to make a pass on Charles Sanford. That would be for 12th. Laura Chung there in the 78. Now trying to take advantage. The Dillons are side by side. Poteet to the inside of Young. Zachary Fitzwater right there as well. Saw the tail end of the field was just coming out of turn 4. The leaders, I think, were midway down the back straightaway, so lap traffic could come into play here. Wow, look how the 78 got really loose there off of turn 4. Rear end grip is going to be going away the longer this run goes on. These drivers are probably already only 12 and a half laps in. They're already screaming for fresh tires, screaming for that rear grip. Be able to get back to the throttle and not have it get snappy loose off the corner. Much steadier that time for the 78. Probably waited on the throttle a little bit longer than he did the previous lap. 100 laps here, so if we stay under green, we will end up seeing green flag pit stops, I'm pretty sure. Good battle for fourth, Kyle Matthews and Matt Haas. Matt, a former Daytona 500 winner. Kyle Matthews, one half of the defending champions. Kyle's season did not get off to a good start at all, but he's been doing pretty well the last couple of weeks, now up to 26th in the standings, and while that may not seem like much, remember Kyle, I think, was at one point 40th or 41st in points. That's a huge improvement. Right now, holding down a spot inside of the top 5 at North Wilkesboro. Teammates in 6th and 7th, though they may be different manufacturers. Anthony McCurry in the 61, Nick Gunther, the Mazda project for Fortnite Squad Racing. Nick Gunther right now is 15th in points, had another good outing last week at Phoenix. Gained 4 spots in the standings. It's been very impressive what he's been able to do in that Mazda. A lot of questions coming into this season. Nobody had ever driven a manufacturer outside of Toyota, Ford, Chevrolet, or Dodge. But that project out of Fortnite, or out of FSR has really proved to be beneficial. And right now, Nick Gunther up in the top 10. I believe that would be, if he holds down that spot, that'd be the best finish so far for a Mazda in Duracell Cup Series competition. I'm not exactly certain off the top of my head what the best finish Nick Gunther's had this season. In the 5 starts previous, he's not had a top 5 or a top 10, but he has had a 19th place average finishing position. One driver I was going to be very interested to watch here today, see if he could work the magic. We've seen him. Whoa, Kyle went way up the track there. And it might actually work. He's going to get around the outside of Matt Haas. What a move. Maybe more drivers will take notice that there's actually grip up on that top side. Well, he hasn't completed the pass yet, but look at him get the throttle, get the power down, and that's quite a pass there for 4th place. More drivers are going to start migrating up to that second lane, I'm sure. Now Anthony McCurry is looking to do the same against Matt Haas. So we've got a top line here at North Wilkesboro. But going back to the point I was going to make, William Hoer, our points leader coming into this race, what an amazing start to the year it has been for that rookie. In the 5 starts made so far, 4 finishes inside of the top 5, those 4 finishes subsequently inside of the top 10, a victory at Las Vegas. He's got a 4.4 average finishing position, but here's the kicker. Here's the thing that really stood out to me. He's got a sub-5th place average finishing position in 5 races, but his average starting position is 24th. So he's had to pass a lot of cars, work a lot of strategy to be able to finish where he has. He's not had good starting track position to follow up on. And William Hoer started this race back from the 21st position, so right around that area where his average finish or his average starting position was. As I look now, he started in 21st, and he's worked his way up to the 18th position as we got this good battle for 2nd place. Samuel Ryder obviously must have been told by a spotter that second groove is actually working. You might want to jump up there, but it's not going to work out for him as Nathan Orman's going to keep 2nd place for the time being. Nick Gunther, I saw putting the pressure on Anthony McCurry. Now he's going to duck low, and whoa, drives it in deep there on his teammate. There's almost contact between those two. Anthony going to battle back hard on the top. Almost looks like you have to dive bomb the corner on the inside line if you're going to hold off the top. And let's take a look and see about where the tail end of the field is. Ryan Butcher just now exiting out of turn 4. Tail end of the field is going into turn 1. So there's still about a straightaway between the leader and the tail end of the field, which right now the caboose on the train is last week's winner, Jack Dunnard. Jack started at the back of the pack, 37th. Right now he's side by side with Keith Batson. There's Reese Banks just up ahead in the 44. Dunnard, after his victory last week, moved up to 3rd in overall standings, only 37 points off of William Hoer. And remember, too, Ryan Butcher will obviously be a driver that would know this. You win the regular season championship, you've got 15 bonus points towards the playoffs, which, in essence, really, if you think about it, is almost a guaranteed #1 seed into the round of 16. Jessica Shelton up inside the top 10, looking for more. This is a battle for 8th between herself and Joshua Osborne. Michael Norman right there in the 22, along with his teammate Mitchell Collins, our winner from Manassas earlier on this season. Michael Norman was a late addition into the top 10 last week at Phoenix, had a very good run. Subsequently moved up 5 spots in the standings to 7th in points, but he's losing some positions here to Collins and now under fire from Noah Hendrickson. But the Michael Norman Motorsports Fords have been very, very good this year. The one that was struggling in the early going was Rick Johnson, but he has since been turning things around as he's up to 31st in points coming into this race. And again, I know that that doesn't sound like much, that doesn't sound great when you consider 31st out of 42 cars each week, but you got to remember a lot of these drivers were outside the top 35 in the points, and so it's baby steps. You're not gonna, as the season progresses, you're not gonna jump up 6, 7, 8 spots in the standings in one race. You gotta take it slow, you gotta keep the consistency going, and you will slowly start progressing your way up towards the top of the point standings board. Been really impressed so far with what we've seen green flag racing for over 30 laps. We've seen a lot of passing for position inside of the top 10. Ryan Butcher, though, has not felt a challenge up until maybe now. Nathan Ormond is starting to close in. Samuel Ryder and Kyle Matthews, they looked like they were starting to close as well, but they might actually build up a battle for 3rd place, which would leave Nathan Ormond and Ryan Butcher by themselves. Boy, that was a nice 1 and 2 for Ryan Butcher. Nathan Ormond may have overshot the entry to turn 1 a little bit, slid the right front, and the gap has opened up a bit more. Ryan Butcher started this race from 2nd, swung around the outside of the front row to take the race lead. Let's take a look and see how the driver of the 3M is making his way around this short track. Let's go on board with Butcher's Toyota Camry. It's amazing how much off the throttle time there is. Listen to this. Out of the gas. Doesn't start picking up the throttle until right there. Quarter throttle, half throttle, gasses it. It's amazing to hear as we just had a car on pit road. That was the 16 of Ali Liera. And we've got more coming to pit lane. Quentin Moore, Benjamin Miles, Reggie Fogelman, green flag pit stops here at North Wilkesboro. Both of the Evans Gardner Motorsports Chevrolets are in as Rob Evans joins Liera. Anthony McCurry, Matt Haas, Nathan Ormond, Samuel Ryder all in. That's a few drivers from inside of the top 5 as we've got more diving onto pit road this time. Let's see if our race leader was amongst them. Yes, Ryan Butcher did come in this time. That would turn the lead over to, I believe, Dylan Poteet? No, Levi McIntyre, actually. Levi's in this time. And Nathan Ormond's down and away. Let's see if Nathan's able to leapfrog the 78 of Ryan Butcher. He'd have 1 lap fresher tires here. He wasn't too far behind the 78 when he made the dive onto pit road. There's Kyle Matthews just now leaving. He was 4th prior to the cycle of pit stops. Where's the 78 car of Ryan Butcher? I think he's going to be leaving pit road here momentarily as he pitted the lap after. Is that him on pit road right there? Nope, that's Jose Mills. There's Dunnard. There's Brommer. Orman's looking for that 78, and they're scoring him as the leader. They're scoring the 34 as the race leader. So he did beat Ryan Butcher off pit road, and now you've got the leaders that are going to merge in with drivers on the tail end of the lead lap, and this is going to make things very interesting. Yeah, Ryan Butcher, that call to come to pit road late not only cost him the lead, but it cost him a couple more positions as well. Because Kyle Matthews is now cycled out to second. Samuel Ryder, our pole sitter, is in third. Matt Haas is fourth, and Ryan Butcher is now all the way back to the fifth position. So I don't know if there was a pit road mistake, or if it was just the fact of those outlaps on fresher tires helped Nathan Ormond and co. to drop the 78 car back, but he lost 4 positions on that cycle of green flag pit stops. Anthony McCrory is going to be in 6th. Jessica Shelton trying to take 7th from Nick Gunther. He'll fall back to 8th. 9th place there, Mitchell Collins, who got all sorts of sideways on those slicker fresh tires. And your top 10 right now going to be completed by the 80 of Noah Hendrickson, who's trying to hold off Joshua Osborne, and the caution flag is out. First time today, the yellow flag's going to fly, and this is going to shake up a lot, as we had 34 drivers, I believe, on the lead lap at this point in time. And Ormond appears to be coming back down pit road. Kyle Matthews looks like he's going to be doing the same. Yeah, all the leaders are coming back down pit lane. Wonder if we'll have any leaders elect to stay out. So who or what brought out this caution is the question, and let's not stack up here, guys. Come on. Let's not have a Pocono. Looks like they're all going to get onto pit road safely. So what the heck brought this caution flag out? Because I thought I saw a car on pit road. I couldn't make out who it was. I think the only way we're going to find out is if we look at the pace car at the time that the lights turned on and see if we can find out who was out of shape. Everything was all jumbled up with where drivers were running, whether on the lead lap or a lap down, and car on pit road was RJ Bishop, but I do not believe he was the reason the caution came out. I'm looking around trying to find who it might have been. Is it the 12 of Destin Bolin? No? Might have had ourselves a phantom caution here, folks. I'm not seeing anybody out of shape. I'm going to pinpoint right where the lights come on the pace car. Let's see if I can notice anybody that got spun out up into the wall. And I'm seeing nothing. I wondered if it had anything to do with the 98 of RJ Bishop. No, it did not. Bishop was on pit road for an extended stay. I do not see anything that caused the caution. So that yellow flag saved a bunch of drivers. And I mean a bunch of drivers. I believe the last car that was on the lead lap at the time was Rob Evans in the 65. And you've got these drivers here that decide to stay out that are now going to be on the tail end of the lead lap when we go back green. William Hower, Chris Dollerton, a couple of former winners this season. Keith Batson, Reese Banks, and Ryan Brommer, as Ryan Butcher elected to stay out. So he will be back in front when we go back green. That means that we've only got three drivers that are going to be off the lead lap. Jack Dunnard's going to be trapped a lap down. Jose Mills a lap down. And RJ Bishop, who I believe his return to the track is -4. I believe that per the rules, that means that the 83, the 43, the 39, yeah, they're going to be on the top side here. So there's going to be traffic in front of the leader, Ryan Butcher. Here come the lap cars down to the inside. This is going to be a wall that Ryan Butcher and everybody else behind him are going to have to deal with. So we'll give it the top 10. These are the drivers to watch in the potential battle for the lead as they try and make their way past drivers either a lap down or on the tail end of the lead lap. Ryan Butcher, the leader. Mitchell Collins will be second. Noah Hendrickson third. Joshua Osborne fourth. Fifth, Michael Norman. Charles Sanford sixth. Levi McIntyre seventh. And Austin LaPlante, Dylan Poteet, and Carson Gum are going to be the top 10. all the drivers ahead of the 78 would love for a quick caution to come out, because then everybody, with the exception of RJ Bishop, would be back in the lead lap. That is a teammate up ahead of Ryan Butcher, Ryan Brommer in the 87. But I don't think he's going to make it easy on Ryan Butcher to get by him and put him -1. Butcher does drive to the inside of him, but we've seen how that top side has been very strong. Ryan Butcher was able to use that top side to get the race lead at the initial start of this race. Oh, we got a car up in the wall, couple cars. RJ Bishop and Chris Dollerton got together, no caution. Both of them up into that outside safer barrier right ahead of the leaders, but no yellow flag coming out, and now things are super wadded up. So that puts Dollerton a lap down. RJ Bishop will now drop back to -4. Jack Dunnard and William Hoer, they're pulling away, so they certainly would love to see a caution right now. That would put them back on the lead lap. All 42 cars are still running right now. But with the 43 going a lap down, we've now got 40 of them on the lead lap. Ryan Brommer still trying to hold off his teammate to stay on the lead lap. Mitchell Collins is into second. Joshua Osborne, third place, trying to get by the lap machine of RJ Bishop. And then here's the battle from fourth place on back. Charles Sanford to the inside of Noah Hendrickson. Levi McIntyre is right there. Michael Norman. Austin LaPlante's now up there inside of the top 10, the 48 car. Ooh, might have been some contact there between the 27 and the 98. And Bishop way up the track once again. And that Kroger Ford Mustang. Looks like Ryan Butcher's had to let Ryan Brommer go. Brommer's trying to get around Jose Mills. That would not be for position between those two, I don't believe. Actually, yes, it would. It would be for position because the 38 got his lap back being on that inside line on the restart. So that would be a battle between those two for position. Look at this back here. Carson Gum, Austin LaPlante were almost leaning on each other as they were 3 wide with Michael Norman. Carson Gum, the Season 3 champ, working his way through the field. Daniel Voiles, 3 wide there with Dylan Poteet. These drivers really mixing it up. And then you've got drivers that did elect to come to pit road that are back here. Nathan Ormond was one of the first to duck onto pit lane when that caution came out, along with Kyle Matthews. They're right now in 13th and 14th. Matt Haas, Jessica Shelton, Samuel Ryder, Anthony McCurry, Nick Gunther. They were amongst others that came to pit road under that caution period. They're trying to work their way back up into the top 10. Osborne under fire from Charles Sanford. Is it late enough in the run for that second groove to work? Looks like it. Got back to the throttle there through the center, and caution might be out. I just saw the red flag being held by the flagman, and yes, the yellow flag is waving, second time today. And that means that Mills, Brommer, Reese Banks, Keith Batson, William Howard, Jack Dunnard are all back on the lead lap. Now, did we have a reason for this caution to come out, or was it another phantom yellow? The 28 of Caleb Fogler is on pit road, and so is the 66 of Zachary Fitzwater. So I think we may have actually had a caution for cause this time. As Ryan Butcher and Mitchell Collins coming down pit road. Let's see if those drivers that came down pit road under the last caution, if they flip it and stay out, or are they coming in also? Looking back for Nathan Ormond, yep, he came in, so did Kyle Matthews. So I think all the lead lap cars came to pit road this time. Let's see what happened to Fitzwater and Fogler. Looked like there was some front end damage on the 28 car. Could not see from our camera angle if there was rear end damage on the 66 or not. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this was definitely a caution for cause. Watch this going into 1 and 2. Wow. That was a shot. Fogler, I don't know if he was just trying to pinch the 66 down, but he definitely drove into the right rear quarter panel of Zachary Fitzwater and flipped him up and over. Let's see if this camera angle gives us a look. Yeah, a little late, but man, that's a hard impact into that safer barrier, and up and over went the 66. That was towards the tail end of the field, too, so that was somewhat fortunate. There could have been a lot more drivers collected up in it. Let's see if an onboard will give us an idea of what was going on with the 28 of Fogler. Wow, 28 even caught air, both front tires off the ground, and a very welcome caution for all those drivers that managed to be ahead of Ryan Butcher and get themselves back onto the lead lap as we're under the yellow flag for the second time today. And we now have some drivers that were being scored a lap down that are now on the tail end of the lead lap, I believe. Not sure what's going on here. I'm trying to wait for scoring to give me an indicator, because I'm being told that Ryan Brommer and Jack Dunnard are a lap down again. And you see the 83 here of William Hower, our points leader. Last time by, he was scored in 34th. I believe he's on the tail end of the lead lap, as is Jose Mills and Reese Banks. So I don't know what's going on, how they end up getting trapped on the tail end of the lead lap again, but they did. Brommer and Dunnard are still being scored a lap down. So I don't know how they managed to have that happen. It was looking like they were all going to be back on the lead lap. Chris Dollerton, he had already been lapped, so he did not get back onto the lead lap with the timing of that caution, and RJ Bishop is 4 laps down. Ryan Butcher will get us back under the green after all the leaders came to pit lane. Mitchell Collins lines up second, Joshua Osborne, Noah Hendrickson, Carson Gum. That's the top 5. Then it's Charles Sanford, Austin LeBlanc. Cole Deaver is now up to 8th with Michael Norman and Daniel Voiles completing the top 10. At the line, 39 laps to go here at North Wilkesboro. The drivers we saw involved in that wreck, Caleb Folger and Zachary Fitzwater, they are out of the race, and the caution's out again. Third time today, cautions breeding cautions here late at the short track. And now this should put William Hower, Ryan Brommer, Jose Mills, Jack Dunnard, Reese Banks, and Chris Dollerton all back on the lead lap. I don't think you'll see anybody come to pit lane this time. That was a very quick green flag run. There's a car on pit road. Who was that? It's Benjamin Miles. Right side damage on the Marriott Resorts Chevrolet. Dead last in points. This has not been a good start to the season for that driver at Northeast Motorsports, and I would have to assume that right side damage, he got up into the outside wall, and that may have been what brought out our third caution here today. Let's find out if that's the case. This was on the restart. That's Rick Johnson, the 93, that gets into him. And then Miles gets another hit from Keith Batson in the 39. It's been a tough return to full-time racing for Benjamin the Overtaker Miles. As take another look at it here, if our camera shot allows us to. I'm not sure if it'll show this or not. Yeah, just see the tail end of it there with that still shot on the front straightaway. But Miles is obviously going to, I would think, lose a lap with being on pit lane. He's still on pit road. They're still continuing to make repairs. And we had all the leaders come to pit road that second time around. And Nathan Ormond won the battle off of pit road. Interesting. Thought that more than likely these drivers would be good to make it the rest of the way, and they wouldn't want to come down and give up track position for tires because of only running, what, not even a lap under green flag conditions. I mean, that caution came out almost immediately after the green flag was waved, but nonetheless, unless they were close on fuel, I mean, these drivers, when did they start the green flag pit stop cycle? It's like 35 laps into the green flag run, so yeah, they'd be right on the mark maybe of fuel-wise making it the rest of the way. So that might have been when they came to pit road, and that might be why we ended up having our top 10 shuffled up as well. Ryan Butcher going to be all the way back in, looks like 7th or 8th. Nathan Ormond going to be the one to lead us back to green, with Carson Gum now in 2nd, Daniel Voiles in 3rd, Kyle Matthews 4th, and Matt Haas in 5th, and McCrory, Butcher, Hendrickson, Osborne, and LaPlante. That's going to be the top 10. Something we'll have to follow up on the restart. There might have been a restart violation for the 70 of James Qualls. He would not have been able to serve that under caution here, so we'll see if he has to duck onto pit lane here, either coming to this restart or one lap afterwards. Qualls right now is in the... Or I'm sorry, it's not James Qualls, it is Destin Boland in the 12 that has that penalty. And so we'll see if the 12 has to dive onto pit lane here in a moment. He is right now scored in 23rd. He may have to serve that penalty under green. RJ Bishop and Benjamin Miles are 3 laps down each. Those other drivers that I said got back in the tail end lead lap indeed start at the very tail end of the field. So we have 38 drivers on the lead lap of 40 running, as Nathan Ormond's going to power around the outside of RJ Bishop, who is off the pace. We're not 100% of why. Might be a mechanical issue, as we never really saw him get involved in a wreck, but Ormond has cleared him, and now Carson Gum's trying to do all he can to get around the 98, but also keep the 26 of Daniel Voiles from sniping that 2nd position. I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it. Voiles, I think, may clear him. Nope, got a little loose. They're stacked up 3 wide back there. Benjamin Miles, the lap machine, trying to get out of everybody's way. He had Anthony McCurry and Charles Sanford take him 3 wide out of turn 4. Voiles is clear for 2nd. Now Kyle Matthews and Carson Gum, they'll battle for 3rd with Matt Haas looking on. There's the 12 of Destin Boland on pit road. That's the pass-through penalty, serving from a restart violation on the last restart. Not the restart we just had, but the restart prior. With the caution coming out as quickly as it did, he was not able to serve that penalty under green, had to serve it under this run. So he will fall off the lead lap. Tough break there for the rookie, who is another driver, like many others, that has just not gotten the season off to the start he wanted. He's 39th in points coming into today's race. Carson's going to clear for 3rd, I think, this time. No! Kyle Matthews drives it deep into turn 3. They'll keep that battle going. Wow, LaPlante all sorts of sideways there out of turn 4. As at the front, it's a 3-car breakaway. 2 drivers on the lead lap, and then the lap machine of RJ Bishop in the middle of it. RJ has no alliances with either one of these 2 drivers. Nathan Ormond's out of KB Racing Enterprises. Daniel Voiles, the single-car entry out of World NOS Racing. And RJ Bishop is a young motorsports driver. So I don't think he'll have really any alliances with trying to help the 26 or with battling hard with the 34 to try to get one of his 4 laps back. Or one of his 3 laps back, I should say. And if they battle, Kyle Matthews has gotten himself clear of Carson Gum. He's now into the 3rd spot, and with having clean racetrack, he can just focus on lap times. He might have enough time to get up there and maybe mix it up with those Fords. Matt Haas has been able to get around Carson Gum for 4th. Gum's starting to fall back, as he'll now lose another spot to Austin LaPlante off of turn 4. So the 19 is suddenly starting to free fall, trying to find his way maybe down to the bottom of the racetrack. I guess that 2nd groove, either it hasn't come in yet with these fresher tires, or the 19 just doesn't have a car set up to be able to exploit that grip that's up there on that top line that we've seen work for a number of drivers. Austin LaPlante now up into the 5th position in that 48 car. Good run for both the Haas Racing machines there. The 8 just ahead of LaPlante, the 80 of Noah Hendrickson just behind. Good showing for those Toyotas. Whoa! Ryan Butcher sideways back there. driver who has led the most laps today, 57 in total. Nathan Ormond has led 18 laps. And then Levi McIntyre has led 1 lap. That was during the cycle of green flag pit stops. Those are the only 3 drivers that have led laps so far here today. Closing in on 20 laps to go, and RJ Bishop's putting the pressure on Nathan Ormond. And if you're Ormond, you're not all that thrilled about that, because RJ Bishop, he's not battling anyone right now. He's ahead of Benjamin Miles, who's on the same lap as him. Yes, he would get back to 2 laps down, but at this point in time, there's really no chance for RJ Bishop to be able to get back the 3 laps that he lost and be able to pick up positions. The only way he's going to be able to pick up spots from here on out is if we have some drivers maybe get involved in a wreck or retire late. And now Daniel Boyles is going to kind of alleviate that pressure from Nathan Ormond as he'll go side by side with Bishop, but now backs out of it. Well, as soon as I say that, he's going to drive it in deep again there into turn 3, and can he clear? Not quite. Got a little tight there through the center of 3 and 4, had to bail out of the throttle. We heard when we were on board with Ryan Butcher earlier on just how much off the throttle time there is. You're literally coasting, floating in these corners. You have to pick the right time to get back to the throttle. And that's how the passes are made. You could drive it deep into a corner if you're gutsy enough, but it's really the bravery is how soon are you willing to get back to the throttle. If you get back too soon, more than likely your car is going to push up, and if you're in side-by-side battle, you're going to make contact with the driver to your right. You get back too late, that driver that you're battling is more than likely going to get back to the throttle before you do and blow around you on the outside, which I think is why we've seen drivers be able to make that outside line work in terms of making passes. Voiles makes the pass on RJ Bishop. Did a nice job, and that might be something he can squirrel away here if he can get up to that 34 and maybe have something for this race victory. I thought Kyle Matthews, once he got clear of traffic, that he might be able to reel in the top 2, but he is kind of stayed there in that 3rd position, and he's getting reeled in actually by others behind him. Matt Haas and Austin LaPlante starting to close in what will be a battle for that final spot on the podium. Another solid outing here today for the S3 Motorsports cars. We saw Kyle Matthews, Jessica Shelton, Cole Deaver all have good runs last week at Phoenix, and you've got 3 of the S3 Motorsports cars right now up inside of the top 10 with Matthews, Sanford, and Deaver. Oh, Bishop tried to get back to Daniel Voiles. A little wide there in 3 and 4. Voiles has got to not be looking in his rearview mirror. He's got to have his eyes out the windshield and trying to reel in Nathan Ormond, because while it kind of seemed like it took a while for us to get to this point, the laps are now ticking away very quickly. There'll be 13 to go next time by. When the drivers came to pit lane, it's pretty certain that they are able to make it the rest of the way on fuel. They should not have to come to pit road again. So basically, you got what you got. Nathan Ormond, last time he went to victory lane was back in season 4. He was a 2-time winner for Joanna Atwood Motorsports. Daniel Voiles has never won in the Duracell Cup Series in a charter race. He does have a non-charter victory back in season 4. That was at Watkins Glen, but trying to continue the streak to 4 races in a row where a driver has picked up their first career win in the Duracell Cup Series, and he is there. Is Daniel Voiles. He shows the nose. Ormond gives him the inside. Slipped way up the track there in 3 and 4. Can Voiles complete the pass? Ormond's going to battle back, but Voiles going to have about half a car length going into turn 1. Ormond's going to have to pinch down on that right rear quarter panel. He succeeds in doing so. They're still side by side, and this might be exactly what Kyle Matthews needs. Oh, what a nice entry there by Daniel Voiles. He's got the 34 cleared. Daniel Voiles is going to go to the point. Coming to 10 to go. Beautiful pass by that Oreo Ford Mustang. Daniel Voiles comes into this race 23rd in the point standings. 1 top 5, 1 top 10. And he may be able to pull off what Joshua Osborne did a couple of weeks ago. He's made a number of starts here in the Duracell Cup Series, but he has not been able to find victory lane. And look at him pulling away from Nathan Ormond, who's stuck in that battle with RJ Bishop. Barring a caution, I think Daniel Voiles is running away with this thing. And I go back to when he was battling with RJ Bishop. I feel like that was beneficial for him because he knew what he was able to do on that inside line in making a pass. And I think exactly what he applied to get around RJ Bishop was what he applied to get around Nathan Ormond. Ormond is still having problems there with RJ Bishop, and he's going to have bigger problems because now here comes Kyle Matthews, here comes Austin LaPlante, Noah Hendrickson as well, so Ormond may not even finish second place here in the closing stages. Third place under contest as Matthews had to back out of the throttle. LaPlante jumps up to the top side to take advantage, and he's going to clear before they even get to turn 3 unless Matthews drives it in deep, which he attempted to do, but now going to have to back out of it. Right front tire heat building up. He wasn't able to drive it in as deep as he did earlier. Noah Hendrickson actually going to take advantage as well. He follows LaPlante around the top side, and he'll move to 4th. Now Matthews looks back and sees his teammate Charles Sanford. That'll be a battle for 5th here. Voiles is gone. He's got a lap machine of RJ Bishop between himself and Nathan Ormond. And it is 5 laps to go. Voiles only the 4th driver to lead here today. This is either the 5th or 6th lead change here today. Lead changes have been kind of few and far between as rookie Noah Hendrickson looking to move even further up the grid. Top side on Austin LaPlante. Might try and get Nathan Ormond for 2nd place here too. And not quite able to clear the 48 down the back straightaway. LaPlante, nice entry there into turn 3. And can he move up and clear? No, he cannot. Hendrickson's going to pull back to the outside. Got another good battle back there between Anthony McCrae and Matt Haas for the 8th position. Who wins out here for the final spot on the podium? Hendrickson and LaPlante, I believe. Yeah, they're both trying to get their first top 5 finish on the season. This would be their best finish of the year so far. Matt Haas was able to hold off McCurry for 8th. Hendrickson got around LaPlante for 3rd. And this next time by, Daniel Voiles is going to see the white flag. There's over 2 seconds between himself and Nathan Ormond. Well, I said today it was going to be all about track position. More the fool me. Daniel Voiles started this race from the 41st position. He passed the entire field, whether it be through the strength of his race car or through strategy. And this time, through 3 and 4 for the final time, the inaugural race at North Wilkesboro will be the first career Duracell Cup Series win for Daniel Voiles. What a job by that 26 car, the single car entry out of World NOS Racing. As they all race back to the checkered flag, you saw the 19 of Carson Gum, unscheduled pit stop late for the former champion. That will subsequently have him finishing 37th here today. Field all making their way onto pit road. Matt Haas must not have been able to get onto pit lane that lap. He'll come down pit road probably this lap. And standings should be official. Ford picks up their 4th win on the season. We continue the streak of 4 races in a row with a driver getting their first career Duracell Cup Series win. And Daniel Voiles is the most recent of those. Led the final 12 laps of this race and dominated once he got that car out in clean air. And again, like I said, did it from the 41st position. That's the stat that stands out to me here today. 100 laps. Well, theoretically, 88 laps to get from near dead last to the race lead and held on for the race victory. Nathan Ormond led the 2nd most laps here today and he'll bring it home in second. Noah Hendrickson, the highest finishing rookie. He was the only rookie to finish inside the top 10 here today. Nice job by him. In third, Austin LaPlante brings it home with his first top 5 of the season in fourth. And look at the S3 Motorsports cars there. 5th, 6th, and 7th. Charles Sanford, Cole Deaver, and Kyle Matthews. Anthony McCurry, this was a well-needed run for him as he was 41st in points coming to this race. He'll get a top 10, first of the season for him. In 8th, Matt Haas going to bring it home in 9th. So both of the Haas Racing Toyota Camrys inside the top 10 today. And Jesse Turner didn't talk about that 47 at all today. 32nd in points, and he's going to nab his second top 10 of the season in that 10th spot. Michael Norman in 11th, driver that led the most laps today. Ryan Butcher will finish 12th. Dylan Young, 13th, much better run than the DNF he had last week at Phoenix. Levi McIntyre and Jessica Shelton going to complete the top 15. So that's all 4 of the S3 Motorsports cars inside the top 15. Cody Lamas in 16th. Dylan Poteet brings it home 17th. 18th for Joshua Osborne. Nick Gunther in 19th. And Rob Evans completed the top 20. We had about a half dozen, 7, 8, 9 drivers that were a lap down in the middle portion of this race. Some timely cautions ended up having 36 drivers finish on the lead lap, back to Chris Dullerton. Look at the drivers we had back here at the tail end of the lead lap, though. William Howard, Jack Dunnard, Chris Dullerton, all former winners this season. More importantly, William Howard came in the points leader. Jack Dunnard was 3rd in points. Chris Dullerton was trying to stay inside the top 25 in the standings. He may have just fallen back out of there. You've also got RJ Bishop, who finishes 3 laps down in 39th. He was 4th in points. Ali Liera, who was 2nd in points, finishes in 30th. So I'm looking at some of these drivers that had good runs here today, like Michael Norman and Matt Haas and Charles Sanford. We could possibly have a new points leader heading into next week, although there was a nice 37-point cushion between William Howard and Ali Liera coming in today, so we'll have to wait and see about that. And then another couple of drivers that were running well in the point standings DNF'd from this race. Zachary Fitzwater was 9th in points coming in today. Caleb Fogler was 13th in overall standings. 2 of them had that wild ride up there in 1 and 2 with Fitzwater's car actually flipping over. And the hard luck continues for drivers like Destin Bolin and Benjamin Miles, 39th and 42nd in points respectively, and they finish off the lead lap in 38th and 40th here today. But what an incredible race we had here at North Wilkesboro. You know, I was very encouraged, as I said, from what I saw during preseason testing with these cars and these drivers. Was looking forward to seeing what was going to happen here today with points on the line, and I don't think this racetrack disappointed. This was a lot of fun to observe, a lot of fun to commentate, and hopefully everybody else enjoyed this race as well. Congratulations to Daniel Voiles on his first career victory here in the Duracell Cup Series. We'll see if next week another driver can add their name to the list as a first-time winner here, as we've so far had 4 first-time winners in a row. Next week, it's Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Yeah, a little bit of a change of its positioning on the schedule as it's up here in the first half of the regular season, but that historic racetrack, the home to the Yard of Bricks, somebody's going to want to win one of the crown jewel races here, and it will be a interesting one in the midway portion of the first half of the regular season. But if you enjoyed today's race here from North Wilkesboro, be sure to give this video a like, subscribing a part of the crew today. We showed you your full feature results, and these are what the point standings look like after the fallout here at our first short track stop of the season. Until next week at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, I've been Seth Cole. Enjoy the rest of your day. You've been watching another broadcast courtesy of NNSCRA TV, offline racing at its best.